Welcome back to Henry's Garage. Good to have you here. And in this episode, number 3 on the heater unit, just there, we finally get it working. And I think I actually understand how. So I'm going to send thanks to Red Fox Motors or Classics or Garage, but to Chris and to Kevin for the help that they've provided me in actually trying to understand how this works. And we'll see you next time. Right, third time lucky, I hope. So I had some advice from Chris and from Red Fox Motors. I'm going to try to work through some of those today and see if we can get this sorted. The first thing that was said by Red Fox Motors was he thinks this red wire here, which I've previously had on the earth but I've put on the positive, was at fault. So what have I done here? So I've connected positive to positive. We know that 12 volts comes through to one of these, I can't remember which, and I've got it all earthed up so that I can see the measurements here. And if I use this, I get, oh, I don't know what, 3 volts there, and I get less on the other side. Okay, I get under 1. So that would imply there's something wrong with it. So let's just swap that out. And I've already tested that and I was just amazed by that result. So we'll swap that out and throw that in the bin because it is confusing me. We'll put a different one on. And now when I test the ends of those wires, there we go, we're getting full voltage across that one and a resisted voltage across that one. So we know that this yellow wire is good. Now, the next thing they're trying to explain to me that actually, I think what they were saying is the power actually transfers across the motor. And if I've understood, that's what I think I've understood. So if that's correct, what I should see by connecting that 12 volts up is to here, I should see something like 12 volts as well. So if I try that, and there we are, so we've got it. So it's coming straight across, so that this is always fully charged. And the switch over here must be earthing it or something in order to make it work. So I'm sure that is not quite how it works, that's badly explained, but that's what we're going to try working through now. Okay, I now want to see if I understand correctly, as you move the switch, that should change the voltage going across. And so on my top switch position number 1, I'm reading 0.16. In position number 2 I've got full charge, and in position number 3 0.1, well 0.2, something around that. So if I go to position number 1, I would expect to see some power come into that from the second one, so I'm assuming that switch is actually connecting those up. But I don't actually see any movement when I move it to 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, it just, basically stays where it was. And the same for number 2, it's in that scuff of the 13 volts. It doesn't change at 1, 2 or 3. And if I look at the third one, I've got the same thing. So I'm thinking that actually there's something wrong with the switch and maybe it just needs a bit of a clean. So I'm going to try that next. Okay, so I've taken some wire wool on the inside here to clean that off, and that has made some difference in the sense that that's not as high as I was reading before. Well, it still doesn't change, but we're getting a higher reading, and it was up at the 2 mark before, or at least 1. Anyway, you can see that they've both gone up. But the switch still makes no change whatsoever. Okay, so if the switch is still doing nothing, then I've cleaned off, can we see on here? Yeah, so I've cleaned off the surface on this side, but I can't get at the surface on the switch side, and I'm wondering if maybe there's something wrong there. So I'm going to drill out these rivets and see if I can see what's going on that way. Okay, so I've got these bits off. Let's just give it that touch of paint there. And so we can see without the connection we've got the 13 volts here. We're back down again here for some reason, I'm not quite sure why. Probably this was given some sort of connection. But if we just make sure we've got that connected across the two, we can see we've got full volts on both terminals at that point. So definitely I had a problem where I wasn't getting the connection across. And if we do the same here, there we go. So we can get 13. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so there we go. So we get 13 on all three when we're in position 3. We get it on just those two when we're there, and it's some. I mean, that must be no different. So you know, maybe it only has the 2 positions, and I'm counting 3 because I'm over clicking it. Anyway. Oh, and in fact, I'm doing it the wrong way round. This goes on like that. So when it's here, I'm getting 13 across all 3. So that's the most voltage. When it's here, yeah, on this one, I only get it there. And then when it's on this one, so connected here, I get it there, there, and there. Huh. I wasn't expecting that whenever either of them has it, I get full volt. So I wonder if that means I got these wrong. But I certainly think it means that this is not connecting to this effectively. So I've taken this all I've taken this off the unit again, just so that I've got it out, and I want to try to get it working with the right wiring so that I understand it. So this is just here to connect these up, so you can see I've got 13, 13, hold it strong, there we go, 13 and 13 there. So we've got all the power in here. I'm taking the earth back to earth. If I check on the resistor, I've got full volts. Oh, sorry, let's bring this back over for you. Is that in view? I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but so I've got. Oh, why isn't it reading? There we go. 13 to there. 13 to that terminal. 13 to that terminal. 13 to that terminal. And 13 to that one. So I'm getting so all of these are getting 13. Now whether they should then be doing something, maybe there's something broken in here. Okay, so I went back in and read what Red Fox and Chris have said to me, and reread it, and it came out of something like you connect the positive to the positive, the negative to negative, and then there's magic. What they actually said was you get 12 volts coming in here, which comes through, blah 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 blah, lots of magic takes place. But what you actually need to do is have this. What's actually happening is, as you go through the switches, you're reducing the 12 volts on one side, so that it's less, so that you have a potential difference across there, and that causes it to spin. So if this is connected to earth, so that's where I've got my volts going in, if that is connected to earth, then that should allow it to spin. So if I take a positive and a negative, okay, so we got a potential difference across there. Great. So what that means, or that must mean, is that my switch here, yikes, this must not be earthing very well on the earth switch. On the earth connects just here. So okay, so that must not be earthing very well at all. So we're going to clean off this so that it's clean on both sides, and I think we'll see if we can get this off so that we can clean this off, because that's what I think is going on. Okay, I've got you quite zoomed in here, but this is where the earth gets connected up, just there, and this is the switch that moves up and down, and so we want connectivity from here, okay, from this to earth. So we've got that. And we've got that in every place. Okay, those are the three connectors there. Alright, and that should correlate to these three. So what we're doing is we're going to be reducing the power, and therefore, or increasing the resistance, therefore reducing the power, blah 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 blah. That will allow the motor to spin. So we've got that cleaned off. I understand how it works. I know I've got connectivity, so just getting this cleaned off I think is what will do it. So I'm going to give this a bit more of a clean in here, although it is a lot cleaner. But hopefully, actually what I'll try doing is just holding this on in place or clamping it in and seeing if I can get it to work. Now that I understand, I think, what should be going on. Yeah. Okay, what I actually need to know is if when it's in the different positions I have an earth connection. and because if I have an earth connection, then it's working. So right now, when it's not switched on, I've got nothing. When I come into position 1, well, it was working for me before. There we go. Okay. And I come, but not on position 2. See, or 3. If I come into 2, okay. So not on 1. Yes, 2. Not 3. And when I go to position 3, not 1, not 2, but it is on 3. So I've got my, that should mean that I've got this connection working well enough, I think, that it should be reducing the voltage appropriately, or whatever it does. So I'm going to now put this back together and see if we can get, no, I'm not. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to connect it up with this so that it does earth. So from here back to earth, and hold it up and see if I get the motor running. Okay, so I've got that earth and stuff. That's 3. That's 2. That's 1. Ooh. And that's off. So I haven't got it right yet, because clearly in fact it only really wants to run in position 2. Okay, so that might mean I've got 3 and 1 the wrong way round. So we'll just try swapping those quickly. No, so that's still only running in position 2. Okay, so I think that I'm not getting, something's not working either here in terms of it switching, you know, moving the power elsewhere. I think that's what the issue is. Yeah, I think that must be it. Okay, we are making some progress in that I have a 1-speed fan. So if I just plug that back in here and this on here, so it works in the middle. Oh, there we go. So it works in the middle position. It just needs holding on properly. Okay, but it won't work in the other positions. So I think that has to be that this unit here isn't connecting across. How can I get in on that? So I think my issue must be this bit here. If that gets into focus, is not for some reason connecting across the 2 contacts. Where are they? Where have my contacts gone? So I can't see them in the mess on my table. Oh, here. Okay. Now it looks to me big enough to get across, so I don't quite see why it's not. But I think that must be the issue. Okay, so it's working again on the 1 speed. I have not been able to work out why I can't get it to work on multiple speeds. The reason it stopped working altogether for a period was that one of my wires had burnt out again. So I've got to think about how I could deal with this. I'm going to try, actually I'm going to just try finding a small washer and stick that in there and see if that does the trick. Okay, so the washer, which I tried in here, did mean it ran at on more than one button, but they were all at the same speed, so that wasn't a lot of good really. So I don't understand why I can't. I just don't understand why that's not working. But it is what it is. So I think I've done enough on this. I know how to get it working now. Good. I know it works. And so I'm going to put it back in as is and go from there. Okay, I've got it all back together and all the levers are now doing everything and closing things properly, except for this one. And that's because I broke this. So at that point it should be open, or it should be like that, and then it pulls it and it comes to that. Yep. But because this is broken here, this clip, alright, it doesn't work. Now, Kevin Hill kindly sent me this, and I was thinking that it's not going to work because of that not coming off, but actually it looks like it might just about come off if I undo this. Yeah, hang on. Right, let's see if we can do that. Okay, so I can't quite get these holes lined up because the shoulder is too broad. And so I think I've got two choices. One is to either take a little bit of metal off here, make the shoulder thinner, or off here to make this bigger. Because this obviously goes over like this, it just won't go over with that there. So one is to do the shoulder, and the other option is to actually weld a bit of metal, flat metal along here, perpendicular, and screw a hole through to hold it on. And then I could put a little screw in there. Now in many ways I actually prefer that as a solution because you can remove it easily, whereas this is quite difficult to get off. Well, obviously I didn't manage to. Mind you, I might have been dumb. There'd be nothing new about that. Right, so whichever I'm going to do, I'm not doing it tonight. It's dark out. Doesn't mean it's late, it's just dark out. And so I'm going to have a little think about which approach I want to take, and I'll take it from there. I think I might understand this wiring diagram. So we've got the power coming in here, which is great, and we've also got it coming in from this side. Okay, and normally these are the three switches for this switch on the dashboard, the three positions. And so although these are shown as shut at the moment or connected, they would normally be unconnected. And so we've got it coming in here and just going, I've been trying to go along this resistor, but ended up coming down and back and around, so it just connects up that way. Around here it comes along and down and there. And then what the switch is doing is it's closing these off. I'm not sure in which order. Probably this is the highest resistance here, so it probably makes this connection so that we get earth. Okay, so we're getting some power reduction in this wire, and therefore a potential difference across here causing it to spin. Move it into position 2. It makes this connection, and so the power now comes along and up here. Okay, and so we get slightly higher potential difference, and then in the full position it comes along straight in here and up. Alright, and we get full potential difference. Okay, so that's how this actually works. I think that doesn't mean that's right, but that's my understanding of it. And so with that, I'm going to consider myself having learned something. It's raining outside. I couldn't be bothered to get out my welder from the shed, so I just filed down the edges of this clip a little bit, and that's on, and then that seems to be running okay. I'm not sure if actually I've got it pushing far enough back, but I think that should be okay. So we're done. Yay. I mean, I need to install it obviously, but there we are. Well, so I think at least I know how it works, so I think I understand how it works now, and I do have it working. Clearly needs a bit of work still, but I'm happy with that. I know that it works. I can go back in. So thanks for watching, and come back for the next episode.